The things you find is because people are so energized by their business and their startup, and everyone's all in, and there's energy with that. The content comes through in kind of a heavy way as well, and so you find that they'll spiral off into 50, 60 slides.
James from Pitchwork, thanks for coming in to us for a third time.
Third time lucky.
Van, Old Street Station, and now the new studio.
Yeah, you didn't see the studio before this though.
I didn't know. It keeps getting better though.
In hibernation.
Great space. Yeah.
You're only saying that because you're here in front of us now.
This is true, but it's also true.
So look, we want to chat today about Pitchwork, right? Because we chatted to you about a few other things you did in the past, but you're a designer, it's what you do. Every single person watching, 30, 40,000 entrepreneurs, have to get a pitch deck done at some stage.
Yeah.
Right? Unless they're lucky enough to be severely profitable from day one. But most of them need to get a pitch deck done. And like you said off camera, design usually comes last. They get all the facts and figures and they get their deck together and they go, oh, I'm not a designer, what do we do? And they panic. That's where Pitchwork comes in, am I right?
Yeah, essentially. So before, I've been involved in startups for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And the space. Before that, I was a brand strategy designer. A couple of studios. I went in-house with a company for a while, and then went off and did my own thing. And so got kind of a rounded understanding of what's required from a branding perspective, from a design perspective, but also from a startup perspective. And
Yes.
so I'm kind of sensitive to all of those
yeah.
parts. And so
Every angle.
Pitchwork really is a natural progression into this. And so, as you say, one of the problems is that often design is an afterthought, especially in the early stages of startups. And so the aim is
that down to cash? Is that down to
it's cash, time, consideration. The idea often isn't fully formed, or a good brand hangs off a business vision. So brand vision comes after the business vision. Sometimes, with startups, business vision is still very much in flux, right? And they're still figuring it out. And so it's natural that happens, but it also poses an issue sometimes. And one of those times when it can cause an issue is when they're looking for investment or wanting to communicate in any way, shape, or form.
So what in your eyes is the perfect? I know everyone's different, right? But a nicely perfect designed pitch deck. In your eyes, like where are some of the startups falling down? Is it too text heavy? Is it just images? Like where are they falling down?
Yeah, you are right when you say it's not one size fits all, and everyone's different. Everyone's an individual kind of thing. A lot of the time you see that text heaviness is an issue. Slide number as well. So one of the things you find is because people are so energized by their business and their startup, and everyone's all in, and there's energy with that. The content comes through in kind of a heavy way as well, and so you find that they'll spiral off into 50, 60 slides or something sometimes. I'm being silly here a little bit, but and the content that comes through is quite heavy. So one of the things that we can help with is narrative and story, and the average investor or VC and so on is only going to spend about 4 minutes flicking through the deck. They get thousands every year.
You're not going to get through 60 slides in 4 minutes.
Very time precious individuals, and so the aim is to try and communicate the message as quickly and concisely as possible in a way that's interesting.
You've got two though, don't you? Because you've got like your pitch deck, which you're sending to someone. If you send it to someone, they get the idea, they can go over it. Then you've got your deck that you're just using when you're presenting, which is just keeping you on track. Because we've all made the mistake in the past where it's you write down everything on the pitch deck that you want to say, instead of like Steve Jobs, who used to just have like the image of the iPhone and then he'd talk about the iPhone. It wouldn't be written down going, this is the iPhone, 4 gig, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But is that, because there are two that you're going to need, isn't there?
Yeah, well, it depends how you approach things, and it depends what your needs are, right? So I think once you have the backbone of something, you can often riff off it, and depending on people's abilities or people's workforce, they may be able to take what we have and develop it into something for presentation mode. But we can help with all of that.
Yeah.
But you're right, you don't want to have heavy copy when you're presenting to a room. It's there to keep you on track, and it's there to keep them visually stimulated, and so
because they'll just be reading it instead of listening to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
and you end up reading it, and there's nothing more wooden than a presentation where someone's reading from a script.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It just turns everybody off so quickly.
One of the things we might as well talk about price, right? Because everyone's sitting home going, I don't know what to. Even I wouldn't have known until I went on the website, but I wouldn't have known how much you pay for a pitch deck. Not a clue. Some said it was $3,000 or
Yeah,
$6,000
you're normally
or
paying for a
$1,000.
designer's time.
Well, a lot of the time it's it's how much you can get away with. I think that's the way it has been, and so having been on the other side of this, when you're looking at your runway and you're looking at your burn rate and you're heading towards a fund round or whichever growth stage you're at, cash is king. And you need to be careful of these things. And so having some certainty around pricing was something that I realized was important with the package. And so we tried to put together a number of, bootstrap, seed, and so on packages all the way up to enterprise, where we can help by, working with your team in a more integrated manner. And I've got people that can do that on my side if that's useful. And so each stage of the process and each stage of the companies that we work with, we have an option that's manageable for them and that's transparent. And so, in essence, the price grows and our time and contribution grows along with the company.
Do you have to, when someone sends you a pitch deck, right? Let's say startup band sends you a pitch deck, say, hey, we want to raise capital. Here's our deck, but it's just white background text, right? Do you have to
help you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would we not be going for enterprise?
yeah. But do you have to look at the startup band as a brand, our website of what we do, how we run the business, and then do the pitch deck on the back of that? Or is it just design it and make it look a bit nicer? How deep does it go?
Yeah. You need to understand the business. The main thing, again, going back to the principle of pitch decks, the aim of it is to get it into the narrative, the message, the vision into as concise a manner as possible, the most stimulating way as possible. And so if you don't understand what the business does or how it works, and you don't understand its the core tenets of their vision, then you're not going to be able to translate that into something that's compelling, because all you're doing is distilling all of that information down.
Yeah.
So a lot of the work actually starts at the beginning, the kind of discovery phase of figuring out what the hell's going on, and getting an idea of vision, and again that scales with the company, right? So if you're hitting a Series A or something, then you're gonna there's going to be a level of complexity there and a level of history and so on that maybe isn't there when you're starting to raise from friends and family or angels, and so. It's a case-by-case basis, but we try and dive in to understand the business and how it works and where it wants to go to make sure that we set it off on good foundations.
You said that most startups or most companies going for funding, well, maybe not their second time going for funding, they won't leave it to the last minute, but obviously the first time when they're going for seed, that they're leaving design to the end. Yeah. How much time do you recommend that they actually need? Because I know they'll probably come back to you going, listen, I need this, I've designed it all up, so it should be easy for you just to throw it together, James. Not a bother on you. I need it by the weekend. So because that does happen.
Well, you do find that happens, and I think again, worked as a consultant, freelancer in design for many years, and you find that happens not unregularly. Yeah. So it's trying to put some understanding around that. Ideally for an early deck, you want to have 10 days to make sure that everything's there. So a week and a half working weeks, and doing that would mean that we've got time to have a good look at it, understand the business, work through all of the content, and then have a round or two of amends, and they're built into the price as well. So 10 days would be a healthy amount of time. You can do it sooner, but it just adds pressure to the process, and you want to have the optimal outcome to that. So
I suppose if someone has meetings with a VC lined up, or meetings with angel investors, whatever it might be, they're going to refine it, as copy wise, right? They're going to refine it and leave it up to that last minute.
So this is an interesting point. So I mean, everything's iterative, right? And so you don't go in with a final pitch deck, and some people come sort of midway through where they've had a bit of feedback. Some people haven't at all.
And they're obviously going to come to you with feedback after they've presented as well.
Yeah, at times. But one of the things again, with this is we're not here to try and take all of your resource at a time when it's most precious to you. And so part of the process, or the purchase process on pitchwork.co.uk is that you go through and you can select what format you would like it in. So you can have it as a PDF always, so that you can share
Yeah.
it and so on. But we can design it in, Google Slides, PowerPoint,
So they can just dip in and edit.
whatever they like, and we make sure that the text is editable. So unless there's some huge structural change to the design,
Yeah.
they should be able to edit and iterate themselves. And so we're giving you a working document that you can use for yourself without having to come back to us continuously.
Yeah.
But before we finish up, one bit of advice you give to anyone when putting a pitch deck together, one crucial bit of advice, other than contact you. You can't pitch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the best bit of advice would be, it's time precious. Just try and distill down into, a sentence exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it. And if you can get that at the head of the deck to catch someone's attention, the why, then that's going to get somebody to at least read on.
Cool. Makes sense. Look, we'll link Pitchwork below. Thanks again for a third time coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
It's an absolute
James.
pleasure. Yeah, thanks
Cheers.
for your time.